Hi guys, Mr. Wiki Shot back again here with another video. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. I just want to speak candidly and openly, tell you guys a little bit about myself, a little bit more than probably you already know. But the reason why I'm doing this video as well is because of a lot of the attacks that I've been seeing, many of my friends been getting online, and I know many of them probably not hurt by it, but I still want to speak out and let you guys know what, some of the stuff you guys do, how it really affects people. And it's not affecting me, but why it's not okay. Everybody has the choice to support and like who they want, but it shouldn't turn into hate where if someone simply don't agree with you, it turns into you bashing them and all that stuff. Like, we should be able to have Biden supporters and Trump supporters and still at least be respectful to each other. And pretty much for the most part, the majority of the people on the right are like that. Because when I was on the left, me and my friend could talk very okayly. And we were still good friends from before I even switched side. And it was always perfect. Like, but for the majority, it's like that's not what they want it to be. They don't want harmony. They don't want people to be respecting of each other. Just simply having a different opinion is trying to is making the country seem like something that it's not. Like they're trying to turn everybody into babies and animals and stuff like that. And it led me to the place that I am today because of the silencing that has been going on. Like there's a lot of silencing your First Amendment right, let you feel like you shouldn't be able to talk freely. You should think before you talk. If something that you think, if you want to see something that you think is going to hurt somebody feeling, don't say it. Like to an extent, yes, you want to be respectful, but that's not what the message is that I'm seeing. It's literally like they're trying to take away your freedom of speech and freedom of expression, right? And like we're at the point now where feelings are more important than rights. And I'm like, I know for majority of people on the right, it's not like that. Literally, no pun intended. Like we understand and we know that we have a right, and the other side wants to take that away and make it a feelings country, and think first before you say type of stuff. Like in certain instances, yes, it should, but they're taking it to a next level, right? And why this is important is because I grew up in a tough community, but I grew up in a well looked after home. My parents was like Christians from before we were born. I have a brother and a sister, older brother and a younger sister. And I was like always the one in the middle. Like my sister was always the fearless one. She would talk and she was fearless, right? Brave. And my brother was the more rebellious one because my parents were both Christian, so it's what is a pretty much a Christian home. So she was pretty much, growing up in the way that they wanted, expected of us to be nice, God fearing Christian like children. And my brother was kind of the rebellious one. And then I was like in the middle, right? I was the type of, submissive guy when I was younger where I just want to do whatever makes everyone happy. I didn't care about if I was happy. I just want to do what makes everyone's happy. And that had like a profound effect on me as I got older because what would happen is it would make you a target for bullies because you don't speak up, you don't defend yourself. And the only person that I experienced bullying from that I can remember, and this is why um, me and this person are not like in a relationship to this day, is my brother. And the reason why, because it wasn't like we weren't in a relationship forever. It's literally, it just came to a boiling point like a couple of years ago where I was like, man, I had enough. I'm done like biting my tongue and just let people do whatever they want and say what they want, and me just like giving away my rights for other people's happiness. And that's how it literally ended for me, where I just like broke the shackles off. Because I lived with my brother for a lot of time once we got to the age where we had to, leave our parents' home because we weren't following God's law, so to speak. That's where I had to live with for the most part was my brother. But because I was around him for so much, I was like on the receiving end of I'm not going to say physical abuse, but the verbal abuse is even worse for me. Like it's like you can't somebody can bully you without being physically abusive, and that's what I experienced more than anything. Psychologically, it was like terrible, man. It was terrible, and I carried it around with me for years because I was used to being submissive and giving away my rights and doing whatever it takes to make peace reign. I wouldn't see anything. Even if it said something mean to me, I wouldn't tell you that, hey, you said something mean, you hurt my feeling. I would just keep it inside and hold it to myself. And um it got me to when I eventually got to becoming an adult where I had anger issues. And at first I didn't know what was the cause of my anger issue or where I had a dark side. And that dark spot came from all that weight that I had from the mental abuse that I suffered at the hands of my brother, who was supposed to be the person I looked up to, and when I came out to him, when we broke up, when our relationship just finally crumbled, to let him know, listen, man, I need to let you know what you've been doing isn't okay, and you need to understand that this is how you know the type of person I am. That despite feeling that way and carrying around that pain for all the stuff you have done to me over the years, since I can remember, it didn't stop me from treating you like a brother, from being loving and being there for you, and just still seeing you as a big brother. Because he had no idea when I came up to him and told him, hey, man, you've been doing this to me for so long. You hurt me, and you've been like hurting not just me, but you've been very, abusive to your sister. You've been rude to her parents. You're not just, and there's no reason for being like that. There's literally no reason. And he didn't know that I was having all this pain from our childhood days and even up into adult. That is how, because of how he's been treating me. And he just said, I didn't know. I didn't know you felt like that. I'm like, because that's just the person I am. I don't want to say anything if I feel like it's gonna cause a rift or whatever. I just want to do whatever is gonna let peace reign. So you can call it submissive. That's what I can, describe myself as at that point. But it eventually broke because everybody has a limit, and I think I got to my limit, and I was like, I had enough, man. I'm not gonna be letting just the word family, cause me to live in, not live freely, right? And when I came out and like openly shared, the problems and what, I was hoping that him being an older person at this point would be okay, say, okay, man, I was wrong. I did, that's not okay. You're right. I was just a messed up kid, and it was wrong for me to treat you and let you even feel the way you said you felt that whole time, and I never even knew. Just own it, right? But instead of doing that, what he did was he just went deep. He just like he didn't have the balls to do it. He just like took it and he just ran, and it was like, no remorse, no whatever. And that was what broke the camel back for me. I was like, all right, you want to do that? All right, well, we're done. Don't talk to me. You don't have nothing to do with me. Like, I don't want to see you, I don't want to hear from you. It was done. It was done, and I was okay with it because I know in my heart I didn't do nothing wrong. You know, I'm just like not gonna be, forced to be doing anything that I don't want to do or be around somebody I don't want to be around just because of the word blood. That's not the way I operate, and that was a springboard for me being a lot more open. Now people have been, tagging me as being brave and fearless because of me being not afraid to speak my mind and, share my stories and stuff like that in fear of how people might react. And because of how I was treated and bullied as a younger person, this is why I have such a hate towards bullies and the mob mentality, because it has a significant, it can do real damage. Because even though I'm not a hateful person, I still carry on a lot of pain, and that pain turns into anger. So what happened is when somebody comes at me, and usually because I'm a very selfless and kind person. I keep saying it, but anybody else that knows me will say it. Is that you have to really go deep to get me to react because of me just being coming from a tough community, a tough country, and I'm used to almost anything. If you get me to react, you know you deserve it, right? So that's why I say it to people that want to come at me like they've been coming at other supporters is, hey, I can be your best friend and I can be your worst enemy. And I have no issues giving in to the rage to deserving individuals whenever necessary. I got no problem. Sometimes I enjoy, even though I shouldn't. You can say, hey, You probably, you got issues. I'm okay with that. I'm not insecure like many, that they believe that's on, that they believe many black supporters on the right or black supporters overall or um are insecure. I'm not insecure. Call me ugly, call me whatever. I'll be the first one to see anything that you're going to see. So you'll have to try something else, right? It don't matter. Call me blind, call me a goon, call me whatever. It don't bother me, bro. It don't bother me. Yeah, I'm looking at a guy that has been through literal hell, right? And the good thing about it is I came from a household of like God sent parents. Like as I said before, they were Christians before we were born, and you're still Christian now. My dad's still a pastor. And because I've seen the type of person he is, that's where I take strength from. He has been, disowned by his own mom, disowned by his father, disowned by people and friends around him, used and abused. This man have been literally mistreated and abused more than anybody I've seen on the face of the earth, and he has not one time turned his back on God and cursed God and blame God or blame somebody else. He just cries about it, and would see it sometime when I was younger, but he's always so selfless at the same time. No matter how many times somebody hurt him, he'll always give the shirt off his back to help you, and even times when I was younger and him and my mom would have, and she would usually always be the more louder one. She was always the one most of the time yelling at him, you know. And I'm not talking serious, but like you would think it would be the guy, and the guy he would just take it. He would take it, man. He was just people would call him soft or whatever, but I call him strong because it's easy to give in to the rage. It's hard to be tough and to be like that type of have that type of personality and mentality. Like it's easier to be mean than to be good. I believe good is hard to be good because there's so much hate, and it's easier to give in to the hate. So I admire him and I take from him, that I think I told him the other day that I think some of your trait rubbed off on me, and it's why I was such a submissive person when I was younger because I just always wanted to do whatever is best in other people's interests, forgetting about, hey, what makes you happy, right? So, but it's sometimes, it can't, it's a trait that it has, so I have that side of my dad, but I also have the serious side of mom as well, where I'm a no BS type of guy, right? Like, I would not let the fear of how the haters is going to react to views they don't agree with, to decision they don't agree with, control how I go about my life and who I support. You guys can't control me. You feel how you want to feel, that's your problem. It's not going to stop me from living my life and showing my support for who I want to support. And you guys out there that are feeling fearful because you're worried of coming out saying you're supportive of Trump because people are going to hate on you, don't let that. You have to do what's right for yourself. You have to think about what is gonna be doing what is right for me. What is this person doing that's best for me? Think about you. Think about you first, then them afterward, right? Because at the end of the day, their feelings does not overstep your right. That's your right as American to express yourself, your freedom of speech, to support and love whoever you want without fear of persecution. And that's what they're using. Their fear. They're trying to bully. And nothing I hate more, like I said, than bully and the mob mentality. But you'll find me most of the time coming to someone else defend than coming for myself. But I tell you what, man, I'm a nice guy. If you see me going at somebody, you can bet your ass they deserve it. Because it takes a lot for me to come out. And 9 times out of 10, you'll more likely see me coming to someone else's defense than mine. But like I said, and I'll say it again, I can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I have no issues giving in to the rage to people that deserve it, right? When I needed to get my rage out, you know, get that steam off, I use my punching bag. I go use my workout, right? That's how I get it out of my system now because I have to get it out every now and again. So I don't mind letting off my steam to those deserving of it. So I ain't afraid. Come at me, right? At the end of the day, the support that you receive from the true patriots will always overcome the hateful. The good will always overcome the bad. So you guys keep playing your propaganda, keep trying to prey on people's heartstring and trying to use fear, right? And while you keep using your losing tactics, we'll be on our way to success, right? And a final message to my brother, just in case you see this, is even though it's been at least a year, I think 2 years since we had that final talk where we both just like, well, I pretty much severed the link. I'm letting you know that I don't have any ill will towards you. I don't wish you any bad. Actually, I wish you a lot of the best. And in case you don't know, I know you've been asking for me. You know, mom's been telling me. I know you've been asking for me because in the beginning you probably thought that I'll be fine without him because you always believe that you don't need family. You know, it's all about what somebody does for you, not what the bloodline is. And but you're getting older, and when you're doing something wrong, you start to weighs on you and you start to think like I really messed up. And even though I closed the channel of communication because, like I said, I don't want it to become a mandatory. I said, okay, you need to change if you want to have a relationship with me. If you want to be you, but you're not gonna be you with me, right? So that's the way I look at it, right? I don't want to force somebody to be who they're not. And if you change, it has to be natural. I don't want you to change because you want to have a relationship with me, or you miss me. I'm fine just, being by myself. I'm used to being alone. That's the thing that most people are not apparently comfortable with, that I'm okay with. I'm okay not having friends. I'm okay with being alone because I don't trust many people anyway. So that's why I'm okay with it. And because I had insecurities when I was younger, it makes me not keeping many friends anyway. So I'm okay with just having one or two people I can trust. It's better to have one or two people by you that you can trust than 20 that are untrustworthy. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I have no hate in my heart towards you, man. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you become a better person and just accept, what someone is telling you if you have done wrong by them. You know, all you can do is you can't, we can't cry over spilled milk. All you can do is acknowledge us, and just be the bigger person and say, hey, I'm sorry. If that's how you felt, I was wrong for treating you like that because I was telling my mom the other day, and this is the reason why I have not been willing to forgive and why I can't forget. I'll forgive eventually, I'm pretty sure, but I can't forget it. And why I can't go back to the way things were or why I don't want to. I keep trying to tell myself, be devil's advocate. Does he have a reason to be the person that you were? Do you have a reason to have treated us, whether it's my sister being rude to us, being to the parents, just being just an awful person? Is there a reason? And I think, okay, did he have a bad family? No. You grew up in a loving home with Christians that are very honest, hardworking, that work their butts off to take care of us. Did you have friends that was just mean to you and cruel to you? No, not really. Everybody that was around you just wanted to be around you because you were the firstborn and because you were the best looking of the two. So no. Okay. Well, did you have it? Did you have it rough? I can't. I just literally. I couldn't think of any reason for you to be the person that you was, for you to have treated me the way you was treated. You didn't grow up in an abusive home where you saw your dad abusing my mom. Like my dad was like furthest from that. The most hardworking, the most God fearing, the most awesome human being, man. I love him. I'm like, there's no bad bone in his body. Literally no bad bone. He'll give the shirt off his back, man. And because of that, that's why I can't go back to having a relationship with you. I just don't want it. Unless you're not the same person. I just don't want it. Because then I'm gonna feel the need to be biting my tongue and all that stuff, and I'm not that person. That person of like being like giving away that's right to somebody else, that person is gone. He's not there anymore. I'm like, some have been calling it brave. That I'm a brave person for speaking up and all that stuff. I don't consider it brave. I just call it being human, right? And like I said, the only person I fear is God. Like that's what I believe in, and that's the only thing I fear is God. I don't fear people. I don't fear the dead. I fear God. So the fear of hate is not going to deter me from showing what I want to show my support for. So you guys have to come up with a different strategy, right? And I think that side of me, that kind-hearted, selfless side of me, it's still there. It shows in my business ventures as well, because in a lot of cases where I should not be being led by emotion, I still can't help myself. My customer is struggling to cover a bill, but they need to get the stuff done, and I'll, you know, more likely lean towards making sure the service is done, and I put money at the back burner because I'm never driven by money, and that's what Trump is, and that's why it resonates with me. He's not driven by money. He's driven by the American people, right? So a lot of business prioritize money first and customer service afterward. I prioritize customer. If my customer is happy, I'll be happy, and it's been doing me well. So I'm still a very good person. I'll still like that, but I have a temper, and the temper is I don't have a lot of patience for bullshit. I don't have a lot of patience for idiots and ignorance and bullies. I don't have patience. You're the last that I don't have patience for. So come at me. But like I said, I'm good. It won't work. You'll be wasting your time, because at the end of the day, the reality is the support that I've received always outweigh the hateful. So that's my message to you guys. I hope you guys out there that have those kind of insecurities, and I've been bullied before. Know that you're not alone, but you know there's people out there that love you and will always be there for you. So hope you find what you're looking for, and hopefully you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Mr. Wicked Shot out.